Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the latest headlines. Home Minister Rajnath Singh talks tough on Pakistan in his statements to both houses of parliament. Says undiplomatic treatment during SARC meet made him leave the country earlier than scheduled. Says the neighbour is just not ready to change. Suspected Bodo militants attack a busy market in Kokrajhar in Assam. At least 14 people, including one militant, killed. Hunt on for other terrorists. Three killed, 150 injured in fresh clashes in Kashmir after curfew imposed in several places to foil a march called by separatists to Hazrat Bal Shrine. And the biggest sports carnival, the Olympics, kick off in Rio de Janeiro. 11,000 athletes to participate in the 17-day extravaganza, with India fielding its biggest ever contingent. Top story this morning, a day after Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh condemned Pakistan on the issue of terrorism, he reaffirmed his stance in Parliament on Friday. Now making a suo motu statement in both houses, the Home Minister confirmed that Indian journalists accompanying him were not allowed to cover his speech at the SARC summit in Islamabad. Singh also confirmed that he skipped a lunch hosted by his counterpart. Now, members across the political spectrum hailed Singh's stern message to the neighbouring country.
जितना सब कर सकते थे अधिकतम पड़ोसी के साथ रिश्ते बेहतर बनाने के लिए हमारे सभी प्रधानमंत्रियों ने किया है, लेकिन विडंबना यह है अध्यक्ष महोदय कि हर के बावजूद यह पड़ोसी है कि मानता ही नहीं.
Home Minister Rajnath Singh at his offensive best, launching a scathing attack on Pakistan for eulogizing terrorists. Singh, however, refrained from commenting whether Pakistan was right in not allowing media coverage of his speech. He also confirmed that various groups protested in Pakistan as he headed to attend the SARC Interior Ministers Conference.
मीटिंग समाप्त होने के बाद दोपहर की जो होस्ट थे वहां के गृह मंत्री जी ने, उन्होंने सबको लंच पर आमंत्रित किया, लेकिन लंच पर आमंत्रित करने के बाद वो तुरंत गाड़ी पर बैठे और चले गए. तो मुझे भी मर्यादाओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए, देश की मर्यादा का ध्यान रखते हुए जो कुछ भी करना था वो मैंने भी किया. लेकिन मैं यह भी स्पष्ट कर देना चाहता हूं डिप्टी चेयरमैन सर कि मुझे इसको लेकर कोई नाराजगी नहीं है. मैं वहां भोजन करने नहीं गया था.
Cutting across party lines, members rallied behind the government, condemning Pakistan for the way the Home Minister was treated.
उनको वो तमाम प्रोटोकॉल जो एक दूसरे मंत्री को और खास करके इस सार्क कंट्रीज में हिंदुस्तान का, हमारे मुल्क का एक खास मकाम है. साइज के हिसाब से, अदरवाइज भी इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे जो हमारा हिंदुस्तान का रोल है, उसके हिसाब से भी अगर वो प्रोटोकॉल नहीं दिया गया तो इसकी हम घोर निंदा करते हैं.
मैं माननीय गृह मंत्री जी से ये चाहूँगी कि आप माननीय प्रधानमंत्री से बात करके तो भारत पाकिस्तान के जो संबंध हैं, तो उन संबंधों को लेकर जो अभी तक नीति बनी हुई है, क्या इसके ऊपर कुछ थोड़ा सा पुनर्विचार करेंगे?
ये मानता हूं कि उनके पीछे वो उनके जाना पूरे देश की तरफ से शिरकत करने का था, और जिस तरह वहाँ प्रोटोकॉल से लेकर के हर चीज़ में पाकिस्तान का जो व्यवहार था उसकी मैं घोर निंदा करता हूं, और पूरा देश इस मामले में एक है.
सीमा पर भी मैं चाहूँगा कि न केवल बीएसएफ के लोग बल्कि आर्मी के लोग जो हैं वो भी बहुत सख्ती से, उनको हर बार अनुमति लेने की कोई नहीं होनी चाहिए. उनको छूट होनी चाहिए कि जब आतंकवादी आएँ तो उनके साथ किस तरह का व्यवहार किया जाए.
They should not concentrate on India, they should concentrate on their own backyard. that whether he has raised any issue on this question.
In a suo motu statement on his visit to Islamabad for the SAARC Home Ministers meeting, Rajnath Singh said, and I quote, "To ensure that terrorism is not encouraged, it was necessary that stringent action is not just initiated against terrorists, but also against persons, organizations, institutions and states supporting them." He also said that it was important for nations who have not ratified SAARC Convention on Mutual Assistance on Criminal Matters to do it, adding that Pakistan has so far not ratified this convention, as well as SAARC Terrorist Offences Monitoring Desk and SAARC Drug Offences Monitoring Desk. India has also offered to host a meeting of experts on SAARC anti-terrorism mechanism on the 22nd and 23rd of September. With the visit and the following statement, New Delhi's message is explicit that terrorism is the biggest threat to human rights. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news. And a day after the Congress party accused the government of shutting down institutions in Amethi and Raebareli, HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar has justified the move to close down the Indian Institute of Information Technology in Amethi. The HRD minister cited several technical reasons behind its closure and snubbed the charges of indulging in vendetta politics.
Question 211,
Shielding his government from allegations of resorting to vindictive politics, HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar clarified in Rajya Sabha that the law did not permit off-campus centre of IIIT in Amethi. He also asserted that a review by IIT Kanpur had also concluded that the students should be transferred to IIT Allahabad.
The HRD minister appointed a committee under director of Kanpur IIT. They talked to all the students and then came up with the solution that they should be transferred to IIIT because there is no legal provision of off-campus. That is also, it is not a legal arrangement and therefore they should be transferred. So they transferred. And when on 29th July, when the Allahabad faculty went there, all the students get out that you are promising to shift us, but you are not shifting. And therefore, the shifting has happened. There is no political vendetta, whatever it is. It is the students who were starving for education and they were not provided education there.
Congress's Pramod Tiwari, however, alleged that the government should have dealt with the legal issues over the last 2 years. He also said that the employees of IIT Amethi were on agitation against the closure.
साहब वहाँ पे हड़ताल चल रही है सही है, पर हड़ताल छात्रों की नहीं, वहाँ जो कर्मचारी हैं, जो वहाँ के लोग हैं, वो कह रहे थे कि इस इंस्टीट्यूट को शिफ्ट न किया जाए, इसलिए हड़ताल हो रही थी। वहाँ के 70 कर्मचारी हड़ताल पे बैठे हुए हैं, जिनकी नौकरी वहाँ लगी थी। 11 साल से वो संस्थान काम कर रहा था। अगर उसमें कोई विधिक या तकनीकी कमी थी तो भारत सरकार ने दूर क्यों नहीं की, आपके मंत्रालय ने दूर क्यों नहीं की?
Javadekar assured the House that employees of IIT Amethi would be accommodated in a General Science College of Dr. Ambedkar University, Lucknow, which is being started in Amethi. Javadekar also insisted that the government has also approved a Kendra Vidyalaya in Raebareli, the electoral turf of Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Amendment Bill 2015, moved by the Congress as a private member's bill in the upper house, and now has been referred to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The Deputy Chairperson has referred the bill to the Speaker to decide on whether it is a money bill or not. But the upper house did witness some slogan shouted by the Congress MPs on the issue.
The Rajya Sabha on Friday witnessed a heated debate as the House was about to take up voting for the Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Amendment Bill 2015. Former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh intervened in the debate, urging the government to fulfill the promises made by the UPA government during the bifurcation.
As the then Prime Minister made 6 promises on the floor of this August House, the then Leader of the Opposition and now the Leader of the House, Shri Arun Jaitley, satisfied with these promises and withdrew all the amendments he had proposed as they agreed to what the government proposed. Sir, in the light of these promises, I urge the Union government to implement them and thereby protect the honour of this August House.
However, Leader of the House Arun Jaitley raised an objection, saying the bill falls into the category of money bill and hence the upper house should not vote on it.
Now, as I said, I am disappointing myself and my colleagues when I take this argument because I myself am a member of this House. But we have to accept the reality that the framers of the Constitution gave a certain jurisdiction to the Lok Sabha. The jurisdiction under Article 75(3) of the Council of Ministers being responsible to them and a vote of no confidence, the money bill being introduced only there, the money being voted there, decisions on whether it's a money bill or not being decided there.
Opposition members urged the government to fulfill the promises made by the former Prime Minister. They also rejected the Finance Minister's arguments, terming the bill as money bill.
माननीय लीडर ऑफ द हाउस ही अगर कहेंगे कि भाई हमें जितने भी वादे यहाँ डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी ने पढ़ दिए ये हम पूरे कर लेंगे तो बात खत्म हो जाती है। तो लड़ाई तो इसी पर है। अगर आप ये कह दें कि भाई आप विड्रॉ कर लो और हम सब वादे जो डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी ने यहाँ पढ़े हम उनको लागू कर देंगे, पूरे कर देंगे, तो हमें झगड़ा किस चीज़ का? झगड़ा तो है कि नहीं हो रहा, उसीलिए तो हम ये बिल ला रहे हैं।
The issue is the assurances given at the time of the bifurcation of the Andhra Pradesh state, will they be honored or not? That is all.
If a bill that is introduced contains only provisions relating to appropriations, then it's a money bill. If it contains, if the bill deals with a subject matter, the consequence of which is ultimately appropriations from the Consolidated Fund of India, then it's not a money bill. This is what the leader of the House wants, for this House to become a cyber.
Okay, that's okay. All right.
They don't want to honor the commitments made on the special package.
कॉमन सेंस ये कहता है कि जब ये आप इंट्रोड्यूस हो गया है और इस पर चर्चा हो चुकी है तो उसके बाद इसको मनी बिल कहना ये जायज नहीं।
After listening to arguments from both sides, the deputy chairman gave his ruling, referring the bill to the Speaker of Lok Sabha to decide whether it was a money bill.
Since the matter is not free from doubt, I therefore, under Rule 1868, refer the matter to the Honourable Speaker for a decision. Till then, further proceedings in connection with the bill is deferred.
This bill was moved by Congress member KVP Ramachandra Rao in March this year as a private member's bill in the upper house. Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar informed the Lok Sabha on Friday that China has not constructed any roads in the Indian territory. Meanwhile, BJP MP RK Singh also questioned the centre's strategy in handling the Kashmir violence. Here are the details.
And I think this gap somewhat...
Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar has asserted that China has not constructed any road in the Indian territory in the last 2 years. Responding to a supplementary during question hour on Friday, Parrikar said 73 roads have been identified as strategic Sino-India border roads, of which 61 with a total length of 3,417 kilometers have been entrusted to the Border Roads Organization.
These are 22 roads which have been completed out of 63, which have been out of 61 which has been given to Border Road Organization. Of the balance 39, 21 have been connected, though the surfacing and completion is not there, and only 18 remains to be unconnected, of which 16 are under progress, only 2 are stuck up. That also the environment clearance has been obtained very recently and they will also start working.
कश्मीर में जो हो रहा है उसकी ओर आकृष्ट करना चाहता हूं।
Raising the Kashmir violence issue in the House, former Home Secretary and BJP MP RK Singh slammed the centre's Kashmir policy as absolutely wrong. He also demanded that terrorists and separatists must be dealt with sternly.
कि कश्मीर में जो कुछ लोग कुछ आतंकवादी हैं और अलगाववादी हैं उनको हैंडल करने का ये तरीका कदापि ठीक नहीं है और ये हैंडल करने का गलत तरीका है। उनको हैंडल अध्यक्ष महोदया वो माइनॉरिटी में है, जो मेजॉरिटी है कश्मीर में वो शांति चाहती है, वो विकास चाहती है, अपना रोजगार करना चाहती है, नौकरी चाहती है। आइए कुछ हैंडफुल ऑफ आतंकवादी जो हैं वो उनको डरा धमका कर करके रखे हुए हैं।
Health Minister JP Nadda informed the House that the government has received proposals from 17 states to set up 5 new AIIMS-like medical institutes in the country. The government has decided to set up these institutes at Mangalagiri in Andhra Pradesh, Kalyani in West Bengal, Nagpur in Maharashtra, Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh and Bhatinda in Punjab. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In Breakfast News, time to take a very short break. We'll be back with new news. Stay with us.
Ellora Caves, an unimaginable and detailed work of art. The finest example of rock cave temple in India with 34 caves. Built by the rulers of the Rashtrakuta dynasty between 350 AD and 1000 AD. Striking sculptures and murals are the hallmark of the caves. The Kailash temple is the largest monolith structure of the world, an impressive 15-feet statue of Buddha seated in two-story structure of stupa with all the grace. It took about 5 centuries to complete the structure, made with 200,000 tons of rock.
The last 100 years, all of us got addicted to fossil fuels. We waited another 20 years, then the Earth's climate will be changing so rapidly that whatever we do or don't do will not help us. We have to start making changes now to transform the society which depends less on coal, oil and gas and more on solar and wind.
Watch Eureka with Professor J. Srinivasan, Honorary Professor, Centre for Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back after the break. Now, Vijay Rupani will take over as the new Chief Minister of Gujarat, while Nitin Patel will be the Deputy Chief Minister. Rupani was picked up for the state's top job by party MLAs at a meeting on Friday evening. Now, Vijay Rupani is the state president of the BJP and was the Minister of Transport, Water Supply, Labour and Employment in Anandiben Patel's cabinet. He was elected to the Assembly for the first time in 2014, winning the Rajkot West seat. Now, Rupani is considered a non-controversial leader and is said to enjoy wide acceptance among the party workers. The new Chief Minister pick comes after days of speculation over whether Amit Shah would take charge as the Chief Minister of the state. The rumours were put to rest on Wednesday, though, when senior leader Venkaiah Naidu categorically stated that Amit Shah would continue in his national role.
नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी और श्रीमती आनंदीबेन पटेल ने जो विकास की डेवलपमेंट की राजनीति आगे बढ़ाई है और नरेंद्र भाई ने जो सूत्र दिया था कि सबका साथ सबका विकास, ये विरासत को आगे बढ़ाकर आने वाले 17 की चुनाव हम सब साथ मिलकर और गुजरात को पूरा देश का रोल मॉडल बनाने के लिए हम लोग प्रयत्न करेंगे.
Now on to Assam, where at least 14 people were killed and several others injured when suspected militants opened fire at a marketplace in Kokrajhar district on Friday. Now, Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has vowed to take strict action against the attackers.
At least 14 people were killed and over 18 injured in a terror attack in Assam's Kokrajhar district on Friday. The attack took place around 11 a.m. at a crowded market when 3 to 4 masked gunmen dressed in black began firing indiscriminately. Locals report that the terrorists also heard a grenade damaging several shops before running away from the area. The dead include civilians, security personnel and a militant. An AK-47 was recovered from the suspected gunman killed in the encounter. Security forces, however, were unable to capture any of the other assailants. Police also claims that the attack was carried out by the National Democratic Front of Bodoland.
सिक्योरिटी ऑपरेशन है, उसमें भी एक मिलिटेंट वहीं न्यूट्रलाइज किया गया और उसके पास से कुछ AK-56 ग्रेनेड वगैरह भी पाए गए हैं और भी जो 3-4 लोग हैं उनके लिए हम उनको कोशिश कर रहे हैं पकड़ने की. ये देखने में तो NDA-BS का हाथ लग रहा है.
Particular incident is very unfortunate. We have to ascertain that who are exactly the people behind this very dastardly act. It's very unfortunate. So many people have lost their lives. and we will ensure that these victims are taken care of.
Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has condemned the attack and said that his government was committed to take stern action against extremist outfits. Home Minister Rajnath Singh also said that the centre was closely monitoring the situation.
Our government is committed to take stern action against those extremist outfits to ensure the protection of the civilians. Assam government has granted an ex gratia of 5 lakhs to every deceased families and also 1 lakh rupees for those injured.
It is a matter of concern, also because for quite some time there had been an atmosphere of peace and normalcy in Assam, and all of us, as we all know, the recent elections happened in a peaceful atmosphere.
The area has been cordoned off and search operations were launched immediately to find terrorists suspected to be hiding in nearby buildings. Additional security forces were rushed to the spot after the attack. So far, no group has claimed responsibility for it. Intelligence agencies had earlier warned about the possibility of a jihadi attack in Assam. The attack comes at a time when there was already a state of high alert in view of the upcoming Independence Day celebrations. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And news now from Kashmir, where at least 3 people were killed and over 150 injured in several cases of violence on Friday, raising the death toll to 53. Now, defying curfew and restrictions, protesters took to streets after the Friday prayers to express solidarity with the slain militant Burhan Wani, who was killed last month. The house of an independent MLA was also attacked by the protesters. Meanwhile, former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah hit out at the centre for claiming that the situation in the valley was improving amidst fresh clashes. Now, this after the centre told the Supreme Court that the law and order situation in the valley was improving. And Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal on Friday called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi and urged him to bail out the state from recurring floods and erosion that have crippled its people and economy. Now, Sonowal sought the Prime Minister's help to deal with the situation created by the recent waves of floods and urged him to deal with it as a national problem. He also sought Modi's help in strengthening the embankments, as a strong network of embankments and dikes were prerequisites for the state's economy to flourish. The Chief Minister made a plea to Modi for a special incentive to pave way for industrial growth in the state, taking into consideration its locational disadvantage. Meanwhile, heavy downpour were witnessed in some parts of the country on Friday. Incessant rains lashed several parts in Punjab and Haryana, even as the maximum temperature hovered a few notches above normal in the most parts of the states. Light to moderate rains occurred at some places in Himachal Pradesh, causing a marginal rise in minimum temperature, even as the Met Office has warned of heavy to very heavy rains in some areas in the next 3 days. While some parts of Uttar Pradesh received light to moderate rainfall, with southwest monsoon remaining weak over the state. According to the Met Department, Lalitpur and Muranipur received 2 centimeters of rainfall each, followed by Mirzapur and Kiravali, which received 1 centimeters rainfall. And news from Maharashtra, where 8 more bodies were recovered from the Savitri River in the state, where 2 buses and 4 vehicles were swept away after a British-era bridge collapsed in Mahad on Wednesday. Now, teams of NDRF and Coast Guard continue rescue operations amid heavy rains in an effort to find more bodies. The bridge on the Mumbai-Goa highway collapsed due to excessive pressure from flooding in the Savitri River. Now, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has announced a compensation of 5 lakh rupees each to the kin of those deceased. Now, 22 bodies have been recovered so far.
इस घड़ी तक हम लोगों को टोटल 22 डेड बॉडीज मिले हैं, उसमें से 21 का आइडेंटिफिकेशन हो गया है. उनका पीएम जैसे जैसे हो रहा है वैसे वैसे वो उनके रिलेटिव्स हैं उनको हैंड ओवर कर रहे हैं. उनको डेड बॉडीज अपने घरों तक पहुंचाने के लिए वी हैव अरेंज्ड एम्बुलेंसेस आल्सो.
ऑपरेशन सुबह 6:30 बजे चालू हुआ हमारा ऑपरेशन, और इसमें हम लोग तकरीबन 3 बोट हमारी इस्तेमाल की जा रही है, और हर बोट में 5 आदमी हमारे जवान ब्रिज पर बैठे हैं, और काफ़ी अच्छा काम हो रहा, परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा आ रहा, बढ़िया काम कर रहे हैं और किसी को तकलीफ नहीं हो रही.
Moving on to some other news, well, 2016 Olympic Games officially began today in Rio de Janeiro with the opening ceremony at the Maracanã Stadium. Now, athletes from 205 countries are taking part in the grand ceremony that highlight Brazil's diverse nature. With a message of peace and environment, the program revolves around three main themes, that is garden, diversity and joy. Nearly 11,000 athletes, including a first-ever refugee team, is taking part in the 17-day extravaganza, featuring 306 events in 42 sports disciplines. The refugee team will compete under the Olympic flag, and it has members from South Sudan, Syria, Congo and Ethiopia. As far as India is concerned, well, the country is fielding its biggest ever contingent with almost 120 athletes. Prominent among those are shooter Abhinav Bindra, Jeetu Rai and Gagan Narang, archer Deepika Kumari, wrestlers Yogeshwar Dutt and Vinesh Phogat, boxer Shiva Thapa, sprinters Duti Chand and Srabani Nanda, tennis stars Sana Mirza Mahesh Bhupati and shuttlers Saina Nehwal and K. Srikanth, also gymnast Deepika Karmakar and the men's and women's hockey teams. The build-up to the Games has been dominated by a doping scandal in Russia and also threat of the Zika virus, leading to withdrawal by the big names and also issues with the city's security, infrastructure and venues. But still, the game promised to be, as always, the mother of all sporting events.
India, the second most populous country in the world.
However, just hours before the Olympic Games opening ceremony, thousands of protesters in Rio took to the streets on Friday to protest against the current Brazilian government and the billions that have been spent on the sporting event. Now, hundreds of people flew flags and anti-Olympics banners in the streets close to the city's iconic Maracanã Stadium. The protest was against corruption and overspending on the Olympic Games, which are taking place during Brazil's worst economic downturn in decades. Earlier, thousands of anti-government protesters also clogged the famous Copacabana beach, calling for the interim president, Michel Temer, to step down. Frequent protests have been the norm in Rio over the past few months, as the political crisis there has inflamed an already angry population unhappy about the country's economic problems.
E esse ato busca exatamente denunciar as inúmeras violações de direitos humanos e denunciar esse projeto de cidade excludente que está associado à Olimpíada. Quem ganhou foram os grandes interesses econômicos, foram os grandes patrocinadores, foi a grande imprensa. Quem perdeu foi a população do Rio de Janeiro.
Well, despite all those protests, the games have officially been begun. There have been fireworks and the flame is lit. Well, that is one story that we'll keep tracking through the day. But that is all in this edition of news. Thanks so much for watching.